Hey everybody, welcome to Look and See Outdoors. Today I'm out and about, just trying to get some fresh air and some sunshine. Summertime heat has started turning on and feeling the effects, but it's still nice to get outside. I've been coming down to the shelter, getting real buggy and spidery down here, and I'm trying to keep that at bay. But today I have in mind of something I've been reading on about the mimosa trees. We have a lot of those growing in our area, and it's a tree that I can fondly remember from my childhood. These little kind of pom-pom looking pink blooms, and has this real sweet smell. Got some growing here, and I'm going to try to do some foraging because I want to make a tincture. And what that is good for, they call it the tree of happiness. So it's real good for your mood. It helps relieve stress and anxiety and things with your stomach. And it's also a sleep aid. So I'm going to collect some of the blooms, hopefully, and some of the bark. And we're going to get a tincture put together, and we'll see how this goes. All right, so walking down here to the shelter, which I've already cleared them out of the way. This time of the year, we get those big orb weavers type spiders. But these spiders, I started noticing some 20-some years ago when I was reading meters over in Columbus, where I read the gas meters. And for years and years, I remember the black and yellow, what we call banana spiders. But now I don't see them as much as I do these spiders. And these spiders are an invasive species from what I understand. And I see more of them now than I do of those banana spiders. But anyway, they like it down here in this area. It's moist and dark and damp, and there's a lot of bugs for them to eat on. I don't mind spiders when they're not on me. All right, so this is usually the luck that I have when I go foraging. This tree right here is loaded with blooms. However, that's 400,000 feet up above me. Now, I'm not about to get on a ladder and try to forage. So I'm gonna get over here and see what I can find. Same thing here. A lot of blooms, but man, they're 15, 20 feet up, out of reach. Ooh, I see a tree. So let me get over here and see if it's something I can reach. All kind of muscadine, stickers, spiders. I'm seeing a few blooms. Let's get in here and see what we can collect. And there's a tree loaded with them right over there that I believe I can reach. So this is what the bloom, man, it reminds me of honeysuckles. And I believe, I used to know the scientific name of it, Julia Breezen. I don't remember it. But this is a Mediterranean tree. And we here in the Southeast have a lot of similarities to the Mediterranean as far as the temperature, the climate. So getting under the canopy, when I'm away from this tree, I see these blooms. I get up under them and they're like hard to spot, but they're up there. So here's one. Okay, nice little start. I'm just finding a few. You want to find them fresh. And it's funny, all up and down the roads and highways, I see these trees blooming. And on my place, I've got a bunch of them growing, but only a few, like this tree right here. Man, it's loaded with them. But here again, it's out of reach for me, it looks like. Well, I did get excited because that tree is not as tall, but they're still high up. I may have to go get a pole saw and limb that sucker down. But right now, my luck is everything is too high. Spider webs. I'm glad spiders don't get real big. Man, all these mimosa trees, and it's only a few of them on my property here that I can find with the blooms. So I think I'm gonna go get a pole saw and cut that one limb down that's loaded. just prune that limb off and get those blooms. Let's see how that works out. All right, the cool thing about foraging, other than it's another great reason to be outside, is that while you're foraging, you see all kind of other plants. Some edible, some, like I found some mushrooms, and they're the death cap. And from what I've read on those, you don't even want to touch those things. But the world, creation is just a fabulous place. It's amazing what God has put in our environment for us, for healing purposes, for, you know, just for things, just our pleasure and enjoyment sometimes, you know. So I'm about to attempt to limb this one, and we'll see how this works out. Stand by. This is what I was looking for. Here are all these blooms. Now the ones we want are the ones that are still real vibrant. And the cool thing about these blooms is they are edible. Reminds me of asparagus. Interesting. They smell sweet, but something else it reminds me of too. Maybe it'll come to me. All right. Well, that is, I believe, plenty of the blood. You know what? I'm gonna get a few more put in here. So, isn't more always better? You know what they say? More or wider is better. Also, you want to collect some of the younger bark. So I'm gonna get some of that right there on that new growth. And there's some younger trees, because you want to put some of the bark in here too, about half and half on the bark and the blooms. And then we have another substance that we're going to add to this. And we'll talk about that when we get ready for that. So let me get down here and get some of this bark ready and put in here. The cambium. And I have to come back and get my pole saw. I'm forgetting it. But I'll get it later. Here's some of the bark. See the goodness there? And I'm going to cut this into smaller sections and add it. And I need to collect more bark. Whenever you're out foraging, always keep some bypass pruners, hand pruners, because you can cut things into smaller pieces. And these are easy to peel and just put in the jar. This bark is real delicate. See how that just peeled right off? Boom, and then just add it to the jar. This is a younger mimosa tree, and what I was reading about it, that's what you usually want, are the younger trees to get the bark from it. Look how fresh that is. All right. We'll talk more about this as we get to the point of adding to the mixture. So, that's what it leads us to today. Hopefully this is going to work out. This is the first time I've done this, but I've been trying to do more foraging, and this is the time of year to do it. There's a lot of stuff. It's still spring here, believe it or not. Summer doesn't officially start until, what is it, the 20th or 21st of this month, so we're getting close to it. I say it's summer. I always say it's summer when school lets out. So I'm going to get down here to the shelter and I'm going to add another ingredient, and then it'll be ready to let it sit up for a while. Alrighty, so this is the final ingredient. And I chose a whiskey or bourbon. This is considered a whiskey due to the process of how it is processed. So the people who make this particular brand, they don't call it bourbon. They call it a whiskey. But make sure it's an 80 proof or higher. The reason being, the 80 proof or higher, which this is an 80 proof, you want to take it and bring it to about, oh, you know what? I'm just going to put all of that in there. And that's about where you want it. Inch or so. That's about 2 inches from the top. Wind it like that. And get your top. Of course, this is not going to be ready for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it, excuse me, hold on just a minute. All right, had a little bit of technical difficulty there. But I'll take this tincture and I'm going to put it somewhere in a dark location, cool and dark. And for 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to let it sit there. And when it gets ready, I'll probably make a video and when it's ready. So that'll be on down the road some. I'm going to strain it through some cheesecloth because you don't want the plant matter in your tincture there. So that emptied that bottle. Back to the point, from what I was reading, a lot of people say to use a clear alcohol like a vodka or Everclear. However, I read further and the brown liquor brings out a better taste. The substance that are in the plant itself, its natural alcohols and whatnot, this is going to react better to it and it's going to give it a better taste. So I'll put it in some little bottles with the droppers in it, and hopefully we'll have some medicinal purposes for it down the road. Again, this is from the mimosa tree, a happy tree. Don't we all like being happy? And it's a good, helps fight off, however you want to say it, stress, anxieties, relaxes the stomach. It's a sleep aid. And, you know, you just have to take the amount to, I guess, how you feel. Now, you just 10 drops or so it calls for at a time. But again, whenever you're out foraging, you need to get you some books, do some study, get with people that know what they're doing. I'm probably one of those people that's in between not knowing what he's doing and knowing what he's doing. So I'm somewhere in that gray area. But I thought I would share this. But always consult your doctor first before you take anything other than what your doctor prescribes. Read up on it, study it, get to know it. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I am sweaty. Can't tell because I got a black shirt on. But whoo, summertime is here. All right, guys, y'all take care. Hopefully y'all leave me a good comment and hit that thumbs up. I'll see you later. Take care.